Hi, I'm Rayna Gillman, and I am the author of Create Your Own Improv Quilts, Modern Quilting with No Rules and No Rulers, and I might add, no patterns, just places for you to start and take off from. The quilt behind me is the same quilt that's on the cover, and I'm going to show you because it's the most fun quilt in the whole world to make and to look at. I'm going to show you how I did it. It's very easy and gives you lots of choices. The fact is that that quilt doesn't look it, but it started with a square. It started with squares. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It doesn't matter what size the square is because you're going to put 4 of them together and make a block. So you can start with a 4-inch square, a 5-inch square, a 6-inch. 6 inches is probably about the most comfortable upper range for a block, unless you're making a gigantic quilt. But they're 6-inch squares. Not that it matters, but they are. And I'm going to cut them. And I cut 4, you know what I'm going to cut? You can cut 2 together, you can cut 2 together, you can cut 4 together, whatever. I'm going to cut 2 together and then 2 together for a reason. Just eyeball it and go without measuring, because measuring will slow you up and it'll keep you from being improv. So that's the beginning. I'm going to cut 2 more, and I'm going to cut them at a totally different angle. You don't have to, but it's kind of interesting if you do. So you can see the shapes are different of those corners. Now what you're going to do is fill in that corner with strips, which you have already cut, and you've cut them without a ruler, I hope. And till you have enough for you to take and trim it to the size of your square. So there's that, and basically if I don't cut myself, we'll be fine. There we go, sort of. So now I have 4. And as you can see, you can make it very modern, you can make it very funky, you can make it smaller, you can make it larger. I've got these 4 now, and here's the thing. When you put them together, you can decide how you want them to go together. Sometimes they can be very regular, sometimes they're going to be more irregular with the sizes and the shapes. It really all depends. It depends on how you cut them, and it depends on how you arrange them. And you can have pieces that have been cut identically and cut together, and you can arrange them differently. And I cut these 4 together, I cut these 4 together, and they're different. So it makes a very fun quilt. If I rearrange these somehow, you can make it more regular, less regular, and everyone is different. So that's my story. I will tell you that when you add the strips and you iron them, I iron them. It's good to iron them. You need to iron them toward the tip, because otherwise you're going to have ears sticking out, and when you trim it, you want to trim off those ears, you know, the little bits that stick out on the side when you're using strips. So that's just one little caveat for this. You can, I guess, again, you can see these are all slightly different. Larger, smaller, and even you can use a printed background. And you have to ask yourself, what if? And I played around with what if. And what if I didn't use strips? What if I cut my triangles and put in solids and used a pattern background? What would it look like? And here it is. So it doesn't matter what size they are, doesn't matter what fabrics you use, it's going to be a fantastic quilt. And I hope you have fun making it. There are lots of other things in the book that are easy, that start with a rectangle, and it's just pure improv, starting with a base. And that base, as I said, is a rectangle. It can be a square, which is a rectangle with 4 equal sides. It can be a long, skinny rectangle, which is a strip, or it can be your typical rectangle, the one that looks like your cell phone, that shape and size. So have a good time with it. Again, no rules, no rulers, no pattern, and great, easy to make quilts.